Hey guys, my name is DrSharnael, Wolverton-Sehon. I'm with Swiftfire International. Happy Friday to everybody out there. I'm really excited because I have a few things to share with you about the truth, perception, and the law of seeing, the science of all of that too. So, facts do not cease to exist just because they are ignored. That was a quote that I just read. I've been studying the law of seeing now for about 4 weeks, and the law of resonance. I'm going to do another video on that later on this week. Hey Heidi. I was with Robert Tennyson Stevens and Lindsay Elmore and Dr. Pia and Dr. Mine and Alana Shelton and Adam Jepson this last weekend. And there are several other doctors who are all just gathered together doing a lot of fun, geeky, spiritual stuff together. And a biggie was talking about the biofield, hey Brittany, and going into perception and how we get to create and co-create with our people and for our lives. And Robert Tennyson Stevens, who I have done numerous meetings with and have trained through his mini courses, he made a statement this last weekend at the conference when it was his turn to speak. He said that a gift not perceived or received as a blessing will turn into a burden. And I have literally heard him say that 1,000,000 times, most likely-ish. And for whatever reason, it just kind of went over my head, or I thought about it or whatever. But when he said it this time, it just landed in a different place. It was like, oh, it's perception. And to be honest, you know, we have our perception through our filters of what we go through in our lives. And then other people have their perception. And, you know, even with crime scenes and what have you, when they find these people who watch the same accident and the same situation, but they're remembering it differently, or they're seeing it differently, or they, you know, what color shirt was he wearing? Da da da. Oh, it's a black shirt, clearly. And then the next person's like, it's red. So if we do not have God's perception, if we can't be open to understanding His truth and having the belief system of what truths are, then we continue to get these patterns of maybe things that aren't our highest situation or our highest hope, and our highest outcome, because we get locked in to our own filters of the way that we're perceiving a situation. And so, like Robert was talking about, if we receive or perceive a gift, if we receive a gift and we do not perceive it as a blessing, or we don't receive it as a blessing, then it can become a burden. And again, oftentimes, I think we think we have our perfect outcome, and we think we know how it should go. For instance, let's say you had 50 things to do on your day today, and then all of a sudden a tire goes out, or cancel clear, or whatever happens that kind of messes up your schedule. I was just talking to my friend Sarah, and she had left her credit card in a machine here at one of the stores when she got groceries, and she's like, and how many times have we done things like that where we're just like, it seems like a super big inconvenience and whatever, and it's divine, because when she ended up going back, she had a divine appointment, and things just worked out, because all things work according to those who love Him, and I love Him, and you love Him. And so even missed flights, delay in weather, you know, like housing situations, like when I was building our house, it was supposed to take blank amount of time to be finished, and all of our finance were trying to, you know, get in, and what happened is we ended up getting a really great a better interest rate because of the timing of it. So, I mean, if we can just look at everything with the perception that God's got your back and that God is really for you, so who can be against you? And that's truly your perception, then really anything that we go through in life can be miraculous. You can have a very, very miraculous thing when we remember that God is for us, and that we can have his perception. And if there's anything that ever happens to you, if you just take a moment and say, hey God, can I see this through your eyes? Can I witness this through your eyes? Then that can oftentimes eliminate really quickly whatever perceptions or filters that we may have been walking in up to that point. So number one, just know that everything is for a reason. Everything. Number two, all things work together for those who love him. Stevenson always says to add, and I love him. And so, because we do. So that's Romans 8:28. And the other thing, number three, I would say is gratitude. Gratitude's a big deal. When we, even in what looks like a bad situation, if we have gratitude, then we can actually open the doors energetically for a lot of other really great things to come our way. Yes, I understand. Like, even with my diagnosis 2 years ago in the past, it seemed like the most awful thing ever. And the people that I met through that, and the things that I went through in that thing, and the awakening that I got because of my ability to just embrace life where I was at and accept, this is where I am, this is just a signal, this is me, finding my balance and remembering my balance. Then when we can look at it and say, and I know God loves me, and I know God's got my back, and I know God's got my family in whatever situation, and it caused me to really embrace life and to see every freckle on my kid in a new way, to see every blade of grass as a miracle, to see everything that is around me. I ended up getting a new job situation, a new relationship with my partner. I mean, so many things. But you wouldn't have told me the day I sat in that doctor's office that this is good, and I had gotten myself there, and I was able, with God's help, to get myself out. So let's look at a couple things too. Murphy's Law. Some of the programs that we have in the world of, like, if anything bad's going to happen, it's going to happen. Or many of you might, I have people in my life where if something happens and I'll say, hey, vote victory for this, I've had people respond with, well, there's always something, cancel. That is a negative energetic code and decree. And for me, yeah, there is always something, and then there's always something positive. That's my truth. My decree is everything always good happens to me. Everywhere I go, everything is a gift, because then it's a blessing and not a burden. So if you are running into people who say things like that around you, then if you love them enough and you know them enough, you can maybe give them a clue and say, hey, that's a program, and I choose a different program. Cancel, clear that program. And, and remind them, hey, if you're a believer, all things work according to those who love us, and only good things happen to me, by the way. So let's decree that, and let's reprogram that. This is where miracles happen. And if we can stay in that, and we cannot make the situation wrong, but see the light and everything, then we can have a whole new life. The law of seeing, or the law of perception, is basically anything that's already in you is what you will perceive the world to be. So, for instance, if I have hatred in my heart, then I will perceive this world as a dark, scary, fearful place where I have to constantly be on guard, and where I have to protect myself at all times, and that people always do me wrong, cancel, 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 and that, whatever your stories are, or whoever's stories are, I cancel all that. But if that's in my heart, and that fear is in my heart, then that's how I will perceive the world. And I'm sure you guys have met people who have that sort of filter. And, I mean, they can make a paid free trip to Hawaii a complaint, right? The Debbie Downers cancel. Have you ever been around other people when it was just like the most amazing thing that's ever happened to them or whatever, but they can find a billion things wrong with the situation or the people or the food or what they didn't get, and just complain, complain, complain. And on the opposite, I have so many friends who are the cup is always full kind of people. Those are my favorite kind of people. And it's almost a little bit like over the top too, but those people who perceive everything in love and joy and peace, because their heart is full of peace and their heart is pure and their heart is doing everything out of a place of love, and everything, every action, every word, every thought is coming from the filter of love. And then even the worst case scenario, they can see and perceive, well, this is God watching my back. This is God making this late situation, because maybe there would have been an accident. I can remember my first awareness of this. I was in, I just got my driver's license, and I was on my way to a gas station. I was living in Houghton, Louisiana, up north, and I was late to get somewhere. And this is my first understanding of this, really, of the law of perception and how God truly has my back. I had to go get gas and then be at a friend's house, and I was like, in a hurry. And when I got to wherever I was going, I ended up being in front of this railroad track, and this railroad track comes, this train comes and like basically takes forever to constantly pass and go through. And I was just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, please hurry up, because it was like a 15-20 minute, and then it stopped and went backwards, and I was like, seriously, are you like even joking me right now? It took me an extra 30 minutes to get where I was going, because I was sitting here waiting for this dumb train to get finished. And anyway, when I pulled up to the gas station that was closest to me at that time, the one that I had in my mind that I was going to before I went to my friend's house, there were a dozen police cars there and an ambulance, and there had just been a robbery and someone got shot in the gas station. I think it was 1 or 2 people had got shot, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I will always remember that moment of I was like 16 years old, 15 years old, just got my driver's license, and I was thinking, you know what if I had been early? I would have been in the middle of that whole thing inside the gas station. I could have been one who got hurt. I could have, God knows what he's doing. He is watching you. He has angelic help doing things for you all the time, just to make sure you are protected, that you're whole, that you're healed. And when that's your perception, then yeah, this is, yeah. Have you ever watched the movie Adjustment Bureau? If you could ever watch that, you can see the hidden things that go behind the scenes of what your angels are doing to work for you, because God loves you so much. So anything, the law of seeing says you will look upon that which you already feel within. Let me say that again. You will only look upon that which you already feel within, which means your heart is trump what you're feeling about a situation, not what you're thinking about a situation, but what you're feeling about a situation. That's what's going to direct the biofield code to bring that resonance back to you. So I encourage you guys to take a few minutes today just to remember that it's your choice. You get to choose how you perceive things. You get to choose and ask yourself, what do you feel? How do you see the world? How is your perception in any situation, whether it's people or things or a job or something that you've been waiting for in partnership, a husband, a wife, whatever the situation? Ask yourself some of these questions and look internally if there's been anything that has kept you from being able to receive the blessing because you had perceived something as a burden. So check this out. Whatever it is that's in you will show up in a mirror, and then that is a gift to you anyway, because then you can go, oh, wow, that was in me. I choose to make that a new program. I choose to have a new outcome. And anyway, so go look into this, because miracles are waiting for you. We can have miracles just with the rearranging of our perception. I'm telling you, once we get that perception and once we open the door for gratitude, that's when God can really work with us, because you are miraculous, okay? You are miraculous, and you co-create your world. So check out my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube. I have a lot of other really great options for you to go to check into some new things like this. I'm going to leave you with this. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. I'm going to say that one more time. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal even exists. Herein lies the peace of God. I love you dearly. You are miraculous. Report your miracles to me. Share and tag with someone that you love today, that you know needs to hear this message, so they can have the perception and the truth of God and begin to see and remember this world as a loving, kind, beautiful, peaceful, amazing, brilliant gift each moment, every day, all the time, just like you are. All right? I love you. Have a good one. Bye.